Roy, by way of introduction, let me just tell the people out there that the kids who might not know. You know Floyd Mayweather, kids? You heard of him? He was the best pound for pound in the world for so long and by a lot many years. Floyd was in his prime when Roy was in his prime. Not a single person on earth didn't acknowledge that Roy was the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world by a lot back then. He's the best I've seen in my lifetime when he was at his best. And it was my pleasure to work with you on HBO for all those years, the great Roy Jones Jr. Roy, thanks for joining the show.
Hey, thank you, Max. It was an honor and a pleasure to work with you as well. I don't know that I ever worked with another team as good as and as accomplished as yourself and Jim Lampley. It don't get any better than that. Not in boxing.
As Frankie Pentangeli said in The Godfather, what was it, Part 2? Those were the great old days. Those were the great old days.
Were.
For sure, Roy.
Yes,
Roy, once upon a time, you moved up to heavyweight. You'd never come close to really losing a fight. You got robbed in the Olympics, the worst robbery I've ever seen. You knocked out Montel Griffin. They DQ'd you because he was already on a knee when you hit him. Those were the only blemishes on your record. And you moved up to heavyweight, middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight, winning belts all the way, jumped cruiserweight, went up to heavyweight, beat John Ruiz easily for a belt. And after that fight, you opened as a 2-1 favorite to beat Mike Tyson. But that was many years ago. You're 51, he's 54. Who should be the favorite on September 12th?
I don't know. It's hard to say. You know, with boxing is a strange sport. A lot of times people always say that your legs are the first thing to go. And my legs were really a key part of my style, my skill level. They say power is the last thing to go. And his power was the key element of his skill set. So his skill set, his power is still there. My skill set, my legs are still there, but they're not what they used to be. So I wouldn't be mad if they said he was the favorite, but I wouldn't agree with that.
Roy, when I think about exhibitions, it's an 8-round exhibition with headgear. But to sell this, there has to be a level of real competition. I think about someone like Muhammad Ali or you. If you guys were saying, hey, I'm fighting an exhibition, I could see you guys bolo punching, showboating, you know, doing the Ali shuffle or Roy Jones signature move and having a good time in an exhibition. I don't see how Mike can fight that way. Mike fights one speed, full speed ahead. What are you, like, how is that an exhibition? What's going to happen here?
Man, listen, I don't know at all, but for me, I know how to have fun in the ring and try to make it the best that I can make it. But at the same time, you know, Mike only knows one way, so it's like playing with a pit bull pup. You know, a pit bull pup, he'll play, but he'll get lost because all he knows is go at it. You know what I mean? So that's all Mike knows, go at it. So I got to be prepared for whatever Mike come out with. Now, I want to box and have a good time and give the people a good show as well, but Mike ain't ordinary. You know, it's like he's not that person that can go out and do that. All he knows is take your head off. And when he comes, he going to revert back to who he is. Especially if you ever touch him good or hit him with a good combination that he don't like, then he going to immediately become Mike Tyson. I know he's bipolar. He probably know he's bipolar. So, I mean, he going to switch that switch at some point, and you're going to have to deal with Mike Tyson. And I already know this. So I'm getting myself prepared to deal with Mike Tyson for 8 rounds if I have to.
But Roy, how do you do that? You, at your best, you could play with guys, lay on the ropes. I was there for so many, Marquis Sosa, whoever it was, guys who had great chins who you would drop with shots they didn't see. And you could pick off every single shot, do whatever you wanted. But as you got older, the ropes became very dangerous for you, as with all older fighters. So if Mike starts to turn this into kind of a real competition where he's going at you Mike Tyson style, well, how do you counteract that? You're going to have to put something hard on him to gain his respect? Are you going to go to the ropes? Are you going to try to move on your 50-plus-year-old legs? What do you do?
You got to stay off the rope, and you got to let them bees sting a little bit. You know what I mean? The bees sting a little bit is the only chance you got. You know, he got them missiles coming at you. You got to let them bees sting. If I let them bees sting, then he got to back off me. If you don't, then we got to do what we got to do.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.